I'm gonna need all my young men to sit up here too. Could y'all kind of slide back just a little
Oh,
bit?
bless the Lord.
We want all our young men, even though you knew, we want you to sit up here too.
Amen.
We want you to be up here too. Because a lot of times the things that you do in the physical represent what we can do in the spirit. So let me flip that. What we do in the spirit manifests in the physical. So when we began to take steps up and say we're going to move from the back to the front and then go into the leadership roles that we're talking about, it is a transition that happens. Pastor had already been talking about when men do this, when men speak a blessing. But a lot of times, now it's hard. It's hard to move from the back to the front. Because a lot of times, it even irks you, doesn't it? Huh? I want to sit where I want to sit. They can't tell me where to sit. Why they going to ask me to move to the front? I'm already comfortable where I'm sitting. Have you ever experienced that? I'm a man. I can sit where I want to sit. How somebody going to tell me where to sit? And then when you move, it gets uncomfortable. Got to sit at the front, you know? And as you're walking, sometimes, until you shake off some stuff, it's some rebellion that comes out of you. It's some things that says, man, I don't want to do it. But you know, it's according to the word. It says, if I stand in my place, if I speak a blessing, if I walk in my authority, then there's going to be a blessing, not even just on me, but on generations. And everybody associated with it. Isn't that something? But it's always something that pulls against us that wants us not to be in our position.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we got to address that for what it is and say, man, I'm not going to let that thing mess with me. Even though it's more comfortable sitting in the back.
Yeah.
It's more comfortable. How many of y'all, something, because you came with somebody, didn't you? You came with your wife. Now, when he came with his wife, he said, man, I want to sit with my wife. You know, it's my wife. Don't tell me to move away from my wife. That ain't even cool. You came with your wife. But God says, seek him first.
Yes. That's word.
Because a lot of times we get involved in a relationship and we let that relationship dictate what we do. How you feel today? Oh, baby, I ain't feeling good today. You know, I'm kind of tired. You want to go to church? No, I don't feel like going today. You want to stay? No, yeah, I'm going. Let's stay right at home. Have you ever experienced that? In the relationship. In the relationship. And you can put it in your mind, say, that's my baby, we won. But you got a certain responsibility that goes along with you. What is the first relationship? It says, first seek ye the. And then what goes with that?
And it's righteousness.
What, keep on. All these things be what?
Added.
That sounds like a promise.
That's true.
That sounds like, because you know, guys, we want to, man, just tell me what to do. I don't want to hear, just tell me what to do. And if you tell me what to do, I'll do it. It breaks it down very simple. Upon this rock. Now, what's the rock? Huh? What is that saying, DJ? Everything you dealing with. How do I handle it? Oh, this is going on in my life. What school am I going to go to? How do am I going to make it? Am I going to go to college? Am I going to be able to erase all the generational curses that's been on? Am I going to be able to deal with that? Your Father gives you the answer. Your Father tells you who you are, your purpose, how you're supposed to walk, and then he tells you the outcome.
That's true, Pastor.
son. And it talked about, and I didn't even understand it. I thought it was a kid's story. And it was talking about this bird. And this bird had fell out the nest. And the bird was walking around trying to find out who it was. You know, it went close to a snake. It said, man, maybe I'm a snake. And it began to slither like a snake. It went close to a cow and heard the cow move, and it began to move like a cow. Move! Because it thought it was a cow. But it wasn't until another bird had been looking at it, watching it, and said, man, you're not a snake. You're not a cow. You're an eagle. Said, stand up and soar like an eagle. Then when the bird got the direction, oh man, I'm an eagle! It changed his whole perspective. Now I've been sitting there, have y'all ever observed stuff? Now, y'all, they talk about something, they said, you know, Ronnie, you might feel like, you know what I mean? You're like, whoa, hear me like, I tell you. But see, I got a different process. I watched how the light bulb was put in. Because let me tell you something. My dad was a carpenter, right?
Yes, he was.
And I've told y'all this story a lot of times. My daddy wasn't a junk carpenter, he was a real carpenter. Because a lot of y'all ever seen junk carpenters? You know, that means they'll see something and they'll try to put it together real quick. You know, get a quick fix. Have y'all ever seen that? Oh, I can fix that. Don't worry. We'll do right here. Something. You know what I'm saying? Began to rig it. Yeah. Whatever it takes to make that thing work, you'll do it. You know? But my dad always said, boy, you have to start with the foundation. Make sure the foundation is right. Spend time developing the foundation. So if you go just, I can fix it like this, and don't get to the root of the problem's going to come back. Like I said, my dad was a carpenter. I just sat there because I was mad. Don't y'all know that discipleship takes a little time? It don't happen overnight. And a lot of times we are discipled when we're mad and disgruntled. So when my dad was working night, I didn't want to be there. Found out so many other things I could be doing. Dad, I could be playing basketball. Daddy, right, B? Huh? Daddy got me out there watching him, picking up nails, doing that. When I want to be outside playing. Everybody else playing, why I can't play? You know? Because if you let a child decide what they want to do, they don't play. They don't understand what's happening. So I had to sit there and be discipled while my dad was building the house. And as I was sitting there, I was mad. That's just like somebody telling me to come sit at the front when I don't want to. I was mad. I said, Dad, but while I was watching, I was learning. And I had to walk beside him every day. Dad built many houses. Began to understand the process that he was going through. And as he was doing it, he was giving me little life lessons. Telling me about how you start something is going to determine how it ends. The amount of time that you put in, how solid it is, how is that foundation is going to determine how the rest of the house stands. Building it on the rock. Understanding that there was going to be storms. Everything was going to come and it was going to come against that house. But when it's built on a good foundation, it'll stand. Build it on a rock. And as you're sitting there and you're being discipled, you get to see all this stuff happening right before you. You see the storms. You see the rain. You see all that stuff. Now you hear the spoken word. He's talking about the foundation. Then I get to live in the house and see all the storms that come. And then watch out what we build him. A lot of times, we don't want to deal with that. when we deal with problems in life, we want to fix it quick. Have y'all ever seen that? As Mikey said, we want to duck it. Move on. We want to deal with the problem here rather than, because you know what? Sometimes it's hard to go all the way back to the foundation. It's hard to go back. Because that means you got to tear down a bunch of stuff that you already built. Some relationships you already got into. Some things that have already got comfortable. But you already know the foundation is bad. But you try to ignore it and deal with it up here. Have you ever seen that? Yes. Going through a problem, rather than going back to the foundation, you try to deal with it up here. How many of y'all watch Sports Center? I was watching Sports Center this morning, and they were talking about how folks are going out, they fighting now. You know, if you're a referee, people jumping on referees, beating them up, and referees saying, I don't know what happened. And then one guy said, we need to form this society or this club where we began to talk to the kids and then we talk to the parents and tell them how to act the games and all that. You know? That's starting at the 13th floor. You got to go back to the foundation. Because when a daddy's there, when a kid acts up, and didn't I act up? I hated to lose. You know? I'm the one, if we're going to lose, we're not going to lose in everything. If we ain't going to win the game, we're going to win the fight. You know? Am I right? You know, I say, hey, if I can't win the game, I'm going to win. I'm going to release some type of tension. I'm just being real. But it took the rod of my father saying, oh, okay, if you're going to release, I'm going to release. To bring an understanding of man. So, I got upset. I got mad because I was young. But my father showed me how to channel that stuff. Showed me how to work with it. And that was a process. Because, you know, people miss it sometimes. That discipleship takes a little time. That means you got to work with somebody. You got to bring them up. I sat so many times watching my dad do stuff. And have y'all ever seen people try to rebel? You know, you sit there so long, then you get enough courage, I'm going to rebel. You know, you sit there and you think about it. Dad says something, so, you know. What? What'd you say? What? You know? But when I sat there and I stewed on, have y'all ever done that? You sat there and you didn't stewed on it, you didn't got mad. Everybody else playing. Everybody else playing. I don't know why I got to play. You standing inside, then you start getting more confident. Everybody else. But it builds up. If you let it sit there and nobody don't deal with it, it builds up. Boom. And they were talking about these kids. Now these kids, they had gotten so much, they've been sitting over there getting mad. Now they think they can act down and do anything. They can hit somebody. But if it would have been a father right there when they did like that, guess what happened? They'd have been all gone. What, sit down. They would have learned how to respect the Lord. Quick! And then when they say, don't let somebody else discipline your kids, you should discipline me yourself. They should already know. When I go deal with authority, it's authority. I don't have to be dealing with that on the 13th floor because I've dealt with it at the foundation. Foundation is right. So you understand how to deal with it. But a lot of times, since we have not been dealing with stuff at the foundation, it's grown up. Now everybody's trying to deal with it from the 13th floor. So my dad said, build it from the foundation. And I was sitting there and I was watching it, but I began to learn the concepts of a good carpenter and how he dealt with it and how everything worked together. Because my dad, when he built something, he called in everybody. Everybody he was associating, they all had a skill. I said, man, I'm sitting back here watching that. Wow. I'm being discipled. An example is being set on how you build a house. So I didn't have to deal with those foundational issues. Because a lot of times they model. And guys, our Father builds our foundation. He gives us the foundation. He tells us who we are. He tells us what we're about. Ladies, he tells us who we are. He speaks life in us. And he gives us the blueprint of how you're supposed to do it. But you have to sit and be disciple. And say, Father, who am I? Tell me who I am. Show me who I am. But a lot of times, you know, Jamil, we start growing up, just like I was sitting over there as a child, I start saying, man, I'm getting tired of this. Frustration. Because stuff is not going the way I want it to go. And then we start thinking we know more than our Father. Have you ever seen that? I know what I'm, all that. And we start having daddy issues. You talk to most men, they got daddy issues. You talk to a lot of women, they have daddy issues. Man, my daddy did not. I was sitting at a deal yesterday, and this guy was talking. He was going on. He came up and he said, my son is named so-and-so. And as soon as he said that, I looked at him and I said, man, your son is just like you. Mannerisms, all just like his daddy. But then when I called the son, I said, man, I met your daddy. Who you? My dad? Oh, man. Yeah, I know that dude. Daddy issues. But here it is. Walk like him, talk like him, look at him, but no connection to him. Daddy issues. Dealing with it. And a lot of times, if you go talk to men and people in general, we start having daddy issues. No relationship with our Father. Father hadn't sat us down and said, this is who you are. This is what you're about. This is what you're going to be. Now, men, y'all realize the authority that we have? That generations can be affected by how we live our lives and the word we speak and the life we live. Not just us, Abraham, Isaac. Generational. Did my father affect you, Lord? My father affected a whole lot of people beyond me. Because when I was sitting there mad, Flo had to sit there mad with me. Because when I couldn't play, what? You couldn't play either. It wasn't no exception. It wasn't like he was going to come over to my daddy's house and then he was going to go get to play. So if I wasn't playing, he wasn't playing. If I'm moping, he moping. If I'm being blessed and he stays close to the blessing, he's getting blessed. If order's being set, order's being set. And then we go out and model what we've been taught. Begin to live it out. But here's the tough part. Men, all of us know that, right? That's not elementary, right? Heard that all the time. Men stand up. Men stand up. Men stand up. Men stand up. We are mighty men. We maybe you get 100 men, 200 men, all those conferences. Simple, but yet hard. Because we battle. Because if you don't know, see, man, we're kind of funny. We don't like to tell people what we think. And if we don't know how to do something, don't tell anybody. You don't know how to do it? Oh, man. So sometimes we have no idea how to do it, but we're fake. Have y'all ever seen that? Or we won't tell anybody. Or we'll try to get a little knowledge and act like we know. Y'all ever done that? I ain't no favorite. If I don't know, I'm saying, hey, bro, can you help me put this light bulb in? Like, hey, man, what you doing now? You want to come up with this light bulb? Put this together. Huh? Now I'm gonna incorporate it. It's gonna seem like leadership and management. Hey man. Hey, I made a career doing that. What you talking about? Delegation, basically. But that's a good point. I saw when you brought people together, you understand what they're good at, what their giftings are. You empower them. You move them that way. My dad didn't build a house by himself. When it came to put up the sheetrock, he called the sheetrockers. When it came to put up the shingles, he called the roofers. He called in all those folks. And when they came together as a union, they began to put that together. But a lot of times, as men, and I'm going to go to everybody, and women, we don't want to address where we are insecure. And then we began to hide. And we'll walk in our lie for a long period of time. And what happens is, the same thing happens. If you are standing in authority, if it's bad authority, guess what happens? It's passed on. If you're in a position, you're in a position. And when people look at you, they're going to begin to think, this is how I handle it. If I would have been sitting over there and my daddy would have been putting duct tape on everything, I would have put duct tape on everything, and I would tell you the thing, duct tape is the best thing since life. Hey, duct tape! My daddy duct tape! But how many times we see that in life? My daddy dated 2 or 3 women. My daddy did that. My daddy lied. My daddy cheated. My daddy. And when you look up, that's your role model. My daddy. Daddy issues. And when you begin to look at that, your expectation is set that way. You start thinking, that's how a man acts. That's how a relationship works. And then you get mad if somebody tries to deal with it. If you talk bad about my dad, if you talk bad about my mom, and then we'll start telling ourselves, we'll say it so long it seems like it's cool. Have y'all ever seen that? I was at a function yesterday, I laughed. We get so funny, we can mix good with bad and don't even think twice about it. So we can have positive church going on, and then get that over, let's party. And we think it go like that. And a lot of times, our life is like that. Right? We go to church and then we go party and don't think twice about it. We good. But don't worry about how it's affecting generations that come after us. Daddy issues. Because all I'm doing is, because it says, train up a child in the way they should go. And then when they go older, so if you train them up in a bad way, you wonder, when I get old, Michael should not ever raise his hand or go crazy. Why? Because throughout the time when he was little, it's been a process. So even when I get grow old and feeble, he gonna honor me so much that he's not gonna come against me. I'm not gonna raise my hand to my father. Why? That's my role model. That's my superhero. And I love him through all the phases of his life. Because he loved me. Isn't that something? But me, the reason I ask y'all to come up to the front is because we got to catch that in our mind. What does it mean to come to the front? How comfortable will y'all be sitting here every Sunday? Now it's good. Y'all be like, yeah. But if I ask you to do it every Sunday, Show up for church every Sunday. Be on time every Sunday. Pray every night. Speak over my children every day. Can I do it? Or do I have daddy issues? And I'm trying to deal with something from him rather than here. Because everything comes back to your relationship. Your father's going to tell you who you are. So when you have a problem, you go to your what? No, father, what you talking about? You've always had a father. Before you were born, he knew you. DJ, he knew everything about you. Every problem that you were going to go through, everything you're dealing with right now, he knows you. And he said, come to me. I'm your father. I'm going to direct you in the way that you should go. But a lot of times, we battle with that because we think we men. You can't tell me where to go. You can't tell me. You're not saying that. Just submit. Whom the Son sets free is
Free indeed.
men under God. So that means when we submit, there's a freedom to say, my God's going to tell me what to say to my wife. Because guess what? My God knows my wife. Knows everything that she's been through, every hurt, every concern, everything. And he's saying, don't put the pressure on yourself, submit to me. And as you submit to me, then I'll give you the word to speak to her. To your son, to your daughter, to your boss. All of it, submit to me. I'm your father. And there's a blessing, there's a guarantee that goes along with that. I'm going to take care of every one of your needs. And theirs too. The blessing that's on the father is on the son, the daughter. It's there. And here it is, guys. Start anew. When you playing sports back, did they let you make excuses? Huh? Look you right now, let's stop crying, let's go. Time to win, man. You can't be coming up here. Well, you know, I missed the last shot. I missed the shot before that. And you know, nobody don't want to hear that. You learn. Why did you miss the last shot? How did this happen? Now, you correct it. You come back, right? When you working with DJ, you saying, DJ, because you ran before, you said, man, I don't want you to do 5 step. I want you to do what? 3 step. Now, how can you tell him that? Because you know what? You've been there before. You've done it. At a whole nother level. And now, because you've done it, you will do it way better than him. That's what a father does. See, Jamil doesn't have to go through all the stuff you went through. If you would listen. But if you sit back and say, Daddy don't know what he's talking about, I should be playing. Everybody else playing, well, I can't play. Put some duct tape on there and let's go, Daddy. Why you trying to do it? Put some duct tape on it. Everybody else put duct tape. Everybody else following. Because they put duct tape. People looking for answers everywhere. And the answers are right here. With the move you just made and said, I'm going to come sit at the front. I'm going to step up in my place. I'm going to hear God. I'm going to consistently do it. That ain't on anybody else but who? Huh? You! And you can evaluate yourself every day. What you want to do? I got to go do this. I got to go do that. No, you don't. You lie to yourself. You don't have to go do that. You want to tell yourself another lie? Make yourself feel good? Because your father's already said, I'm going to provide every need. You got to stop lying to me. Don't lie to me, Daddy. Is that what you're saying? You calling your father a liar? Can God lie?
No.
It's impossible. So why are we going to believe the lie of the enemy? Saying you have to take care of it. When you're following God and you're consistently following God, have you been blessed? Write it down. Check it out. When you are consistently doing what you're supposed to do, is there a blessing that goes along with it? But you gotta watch us, guys. We funny. If I talk to most of our guys, we'll all say, sometimes, majority will say, man, we had daddy issues. But then we'll flip it around and we say, man, I know the truth. Now I'm gonna walk in my authority. Right? We'll say that. And we can leave here and we can be like, we might even mean. Ladies, same thing, right? But yet and still, when it comes to walking into that spot, can I test y'all real quick? I want y'all to look next Sunday and see how many people sit right back in the spot. Because I believe, make it simple. I challenge you. How many of y'all can come back and sit in this spot next Sunday? And then, when you don't come, in your mind ain't right, what you say? Rebellion. I want to do what I want to do. Now, all you can flip it. I don't want to hit Pastor Money in. That's good. If it's me, that's fine. I'm flesh. But you need to be in somebody's house. Amen. Getting somebody's word. Because if you're going to be the man that you're supposed to be, how many women want to hear something from a man? They would say, hey, no, I want to hear something from God. Yeah. I want to hear something from a man that's submitted to God, that hears his voice, that's going to speak his voice. So we get it confused. Have y'all ever seen men get it confused? I'm the man sitting at home in a chair. You know what I'm saying? Respect me. Sitting over past that. You ain't being a man. You are taking your family down the road to destruction. Now, when we made a decision to move up here, guys, sometimes you have to walk away from the relationship. Now, I'm not saying that's your wife, love your wife, but lead her from the example where my husband gonna be. Like that gonna be. Where my husband gonna be? My husband be in church every Sunday on his knees praying. Where my dad gonna be? In the church. See, what happens is, just like, can I use you for an example? Just like Jamil will be sitting over there saying, Daddy, why we gotta go to church every Sunday? I don't want to go to church. I'm tired. I want to sleep in. I want to, huh? Daddy, why we gotta be doing that? I don't want to be a daddy. I'm tired. I don't want to do like everybody else playing, everybody else. But I had to consistently watch what was going on and see what was happening. And then, as a young person, you're not going to know what you want to do. Because you go with them, you want to be accepted issues. You know what I'm talking about, Jamil? Huh? You know what I'm talking about, DJ? You want to be accepted. You know what I'm talking about, Zach? It's funny. Because we start maturing, don't mess with a little bit. You get 1 or 2 hairs on your chest. Then you think, I'm a man. We've been there. I'm not trying to disrespect y'all, throw y'all under the bus. But your hormones start acting up. And you start wanting to act like a man. Want to take girls out. Want to hang out. And you start saying, hey. You want to come up to the front? Nah, man, I'm going to stay back here with her, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just chilling. You know? Huh? And it seems so natural. But if you are building for your future, you have to build it on the rock. See, a lot of times people don't see our messages be playing out in our life. You know, we got them, that's preaching. Rock, sand, rock, sand, rock, sand. Sand is when you want to do what you want to do. How you feel about the girl? I love her. Have y'all ever said that? No, don't say it. No, don't even say it. You know what I'm saying? The love comes from God. You know what I'm saying? And until you can love God the way you're supposed to, she can love God, you're not in love. You in lust. You know what I'm saying? And lust will bring you down. And lust will make you, and see, and it's kind of confusing, DJ. Because you get all this stuff, oh, can it feel like love? Because the enemy will disguise himself. You know what I'm saying? The enemy will be what you want him to be when you want him to be. Because the enemy, guess what he does? He watches you too. Nobody don't care about you. She does. You know? Give you everything you think you need. But the only one that can fulfill what you need is your who? Father. Because he knows you. Now, I love my wife, but the only way my wife can be the wife she needs to be is to love her father. And the only way I can be the husband that I need to be for her is to love my father. Because I can't speak into my wife when I need to speak in her. Only God knows. Now, God, by me seeking him, can reveal it to me, and then I can speak it to her. And she can reveal it to her, and she can speak it to me. And then I can trust it because I know it's from God. Isn't that something? But when I think a man can do it, a man will lie, a woman will lie, they will get emotional. Have y'all ever seen somebody get emotional? And when they get emotional, they cut you, don't they? You didn't tell me your secret now. I know your secret. And then when you get in trouble, they be like, and then you go out and you get. Am I telling you the truth, DJ? No. So when you get in these, I'm just talking to the young men now. I'm gonna get out of here in a minute. When you are getting in these relationships that you put all your faith in, and they break, you put your faith in the wrong thing. And you see, so the enemy comes to you. He'll put you in all these bad relationships. So when the real relationship comes, you can't recognize it. You be like, oh, she did this. But then, Zach, you got to battle with the flesh. See what I'm talking about? Because now, men, y'all get into the age of all kinds of temptation. And the enemy knows how to tempt you at the right time. Because he's not looking at you right here. He's looking at what you're going to become. Because when Jesus came, they tried to destroy him before he was born. They tried to go out and kill every male baby. That don't happen anymore. Try to kill every male man before they walk in their first. Now, it is a responsibility. Now, we was talking to Mike. Mike can tell you some stuff because he's already been there. A father is the responsibility is to speak word over his children, over his house, because he's receiving it from God and the wisdom of God to protect you where you don't have to go into that. Now, father, isn't that that's kind of scary? You mean all that responsibility is on me? All that responsibility will be on you? When my daughter was born, I was like, ooh. Yeah, I was like, man. I started looking at young men in a different way. Like, God, don't play that game with me. I know it. I didn't see it. I didn't heard it. All in, yes, sir, no, sir. That's out the door. I already know. I did the same thing. It will change you to the point of you start saying, my faith is in God. Speak word. Give word. Live word. And then you start saying, you know what? If I submit to God, God is going to give me everything that I need to be able to deal with the situation. Isn't that sometimes? I mean, you ain't got to stress out about it. Because God says, Tommy, come to me. I'll give you the words you need. Is that in some things? All things. All things. So in your job, He has the answer. In your relationship, he has the answer. But here it is. You guys, have y'all ever seen us get soft? How many of y'all like playing with soft people? Zach, you want to line up on the football field with some soft folks? Every time, oh, I'm hurt. Where you going? I'm going to go sit down on the sideline. You know? I'm ready to play now. Oh, I'm hurt again. Huh? Right? You don't want to play with anybody soft. But guys, how many times have we soft? He playing soft. We already know what we're supposed to be. Supposed to be consistent, stepping up, being mighty men of God. But every time something hits us, oh, what's wrong? I can't make it today. Everything going on wrong. Ready? I'm ready. Oh no. Huh? You ready? Oh no. And then we come back. Respect me, I'm the man. Oh no. But we don't view it like that, do we? Huh? We don't view it like that. We like, I just don't feel like it. But no, you're being soft. I get mad at myself when I be soft. You know? I go through my episodes of being soft. But I want to man up. Because when you look at it, you look at how many people have been affected by soft men. And then Mike, they don't even want to say they soft. That's like a dude coming with the court with all the athletic stuff on but can't play. He's got the Nikes, the Jordans, everything. Let's go. Acting like he, it's soft, man, come on. You can't play, but you wearing all the stuff like you do play, but you're soft. Setting the bad, Jordan don't want you to have his stuff on being soft. They're not making commercials saying, I'm soft. They're not. They saying, man, if you gonna come hard. Right? But a lot of times, in the spirit, we don't catch it like that. We'll get the concept, but we don't want to go hard. If you tell me when it comes before the Father, He's going to judge me or look at how I responded to His word, what kind of... God, we're seeing the example of a bunch of softness. And we just got to man up and say, man, soft. And then say, I'm going to be holy. I'm going to walk into my responsibility. And the reason I ask y'all, because I already know. I've been in churches when somebody asked me to sit up to the front. And I done got comfortable. No, I don't feel like coming up there. I want to stay where I want to stay. Do what I want to do. And it takes a lot to pull myself up there. And in life, how many of y'all deal with folks and you touch them, they get offended? You hurt my feelings. But the bottom line is, what are you trying to do? And man, I get tired of watching stuff when you go in barbershops. You ever been in barbershops? People looking all hard and talking all crazy. I'm saying, soft. And they be talking like they know something. They got be mixing 4 or 5 scriptures. Mix them all up. Bootleg. But when you look at it, that's how people live life. And they sit in positions of leadership doing that. Saying one thing and doing something totally different and not realizing it because they hadn't come to the point and said, now I'm lying. You know what I'm saying? I messed up. You ever thought of it? I've been tripping. I just messed up. Say it. Don't come out here wearing all the gear, no, you can't play. Learn how to play, and then, right? Understand. That's a weakness. I got to work on it. I'm working on guys, we bad at it. Yeah, I don't want to go to that church because they are. No, you just soft. You know what I'm saying? That's all you got to say. And they won't even catch me. So guys, I want y'all to start recognizing this. Young men especially. When somebody starts talking something and they ain't living it, just put in your mind soft. You know what I'm saying? You know, if they're not showing up for church, they're not knowing, they're not being consistent, they're not reading their word, they're not seeking God, soft. And then this is hard because it hits our families. It hits our families. You know? You can't sit up here. No, and then this is what we talked about. You know how my dad could talk to me? Because he made me sit there and he discipled me. But a lot of times we want to go do that. We're not sitting there discipling anybody. Now I'm getting ready to get out of here. I want to say this. Because life will minister to you. If you're going to deal with something, you got to pull it up at its work. You got to pull it up at the root. Some of you know how this works. I observe what's going on. When weeds continue to grow up in your yard, if you don't go pull that stuff up, it will take control of it. So you have to deal with it. You got to pull stuff up by its roots and say, hey, I'm going to deal with it. And when you recognize something, and you recognize that I haven't been doing what I need to do, I haven't been, deal with it. And say, I'm going to go to a whole nother level. And guys, sometimes it's hard because we don't jump into it at the level we want to be. A lot of times we like to be in charge of whatever we do. You know? But this is something very easy. And we need it today. Come to the front in your relationship with your father. Even if you talk to most of the guys that we talk to, most of them have relationships with their father. A lot of them have been bad. And they don't and now you're going and you're trying to be what you're supposed to be, but you have no idea. How do you get that? How do you get an idea of who you're supposed to be? So if you hadn't had a father, go to your father and say, Father, I don't know how to be a father. I don't know how to be the daddy that I'm supposed to be, but I want to. And I'm going to spend time with you as you develop me and grow me up. The things that have bound me, we're going to break off. Because we said, whom the Son sets free is what?
Indeed.
So he began to break stuff off of him. The stuff that's been constricting, the stuff that's been holding, the stuff that's been messing with you. He'll begin to break it off. If you'll submit to him. And how do you submit to him? How do we do that, guys? Huh? Humble. See, spend time in his presence. And you begin to grow. Read his word. Now here's the challenge. Can I talk to the athletes? Talking about working out and not working out, is that going to make you stronger? What makes you stronger? Putting it on. Put on some more. Put on some more. Put on some more. And guess what your body does as you do that? It responds. They say, if you're going to start doing this, I'm going to put on some muscle. And Zach, you start working out and doing the right things so you can prepare to handle that, right? That's just a game. That's a game. It ends. But it's an example. In life, DJ, if you used to, how old are you now? 17. If you're saying in 10 years from now, when I'm 27 or when I'm 37, I want to be the type of man that when my son look at me and say, that's a mighty man of God. So when my wife looks at me, that's a mighty man of God. When your father looks at you, he says, that's a mighty man of God. You start spending time. And he'll start ordering your steps, man. Because it says the steps of a righteous man are ordered by God. So when you get ready to start making big decisions in your life, where do I want to go to college? He'll order your step. God, I don't know if I have the resources for college. He'll order your step. God, I think I'm going to fail. He'll make you successful. See? Then this is what he'll do for you. He'll place people around you. Stand right here, DJ, real quick.
I ain't got no shoes on.
That's all right. That's all right. He'll place people around you and they'll say, hey man, we'll help you go this way. Okay? You get there, you'll be like, God, now what am I going to do now? He'll send somebody else and say, hey, go this way. Then you say, man, I don't know. He'll send somebody to go that way. And then here it is, because what happens is, a lot of time, men, when we get in a, stand right there. When we get in a period where we're waiting for the next step, sometimes we start trying to take over. And we'll start saying, step over there. Step over there. Now, here it is. The blessing is going to come right here. Because that's where you're supposed to be. The steps of a righteous man are ordered. Your steps are supposed to be ordered right here. You know? So what happens a lot of times when your blessing is right here, you're out of place. And you don't receive it. And then you sit up and say, I wonder why God ain't walking to me. I wonder why God ain't blessing. You're out of order. Then the enemy will come and say, man, you don't need to do that. They always trick. They always doing this. Come on, man, why don't you stay at home and chill? People always messing with you anyway. A bunch of Christians, they live double lives. Man, you ain't seen nothing. You tired, bro. You tired. You know? Don't y'all see that on the field? Right, Zach? Man, you ain't ready. You ain't ready. Come on, man. Are you weak, baby? You weak. I'm going to run over you. I'm going to run over you. How do you respond to it? You better don't know, man. I've been hitting them weights, but you better come bring it on. But do we do that in the spirit? Spirit, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Soft. Huh? Soft. But then you got to step up and say, hey, I know who I am. Now I know what I'm supposed to do. I know the promise that's already on my life. Hey, I'm going to go right here. Now I know it hasn't came yet, but the word is coming. The word is coming. The blessing is coming. Because, hey, this is all I know. And then, see, God be breaking it and said, meditate on those things. You know what I'm saying?
That's good, Pastor.
So therefore, when you sit there and you wait, you got to sit up there. I think it was it David? He said, man, God did this. Oh, I'm going to go. And I like, when you sitting there sometimes, and y'all up there sitting there waiting, you know what I'm talking about? And everything not adding up. Man, when is it going to come? Everything looking bad. Guess who's talking to you? You hear me? And you already know how to respond to that, right, Zach? That's why we make you a warrior. That's why we make you understand these sports. You can watch and understand the sports, make them apply to life.
Yes.
That's all the game is. Man set their game up where you can know the rules of life. But we say know the rules of the kingdom.
Yeah.
So when the enemy comes and talks noise, you say, what has God done for me here, 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 and here? What has my Father told me who I am? Do I fix it with duct tape? Or do I go back to the foundation? I want to go play. Duct tape, foundation. My daddy did this. Don't you know who I am? I'm Charlie McDonald's son. And he's the son of Henry McDonald. And there's one coming after me named Michael McDonald. And the same blessing is coming. Now, if the blessing is coming to my son, I realize that I got to step up and be where I'm supposed to be, where he can get his. You see what I'm saying? So DJ, this is so funny. And guess what? There's somebody coming after you. So how you step up is going to affect who they are. You see? So they're going to say, somebody will be saying, man, my daddy was DJ. And DJ did this, and that. You know? And that's connected to you. So when you start thinking about these steps, take all the pressure off. How do I take the pressure off? Who? How do you do that? And see, this is what happened. All these folks, they went through it. They went through little palace time, basketball time. But hey, you know, music comes, they like, some of them may still do it now. But hey, it's a challenge. But when you, see, this is what we want to do. This is what Deacon Floyd wants to do. He says, man, I'm going to tell you the word now because maybe somebody didn't tell me that. You know? My father and dad didn't tell you that. But you get to tell them now. So men, on this day, can I challenge y'all? Sunday, next Sunday. It's easy to talk about this Sunday. But I want to talk about next Sunday. Can we be here? Can we be here? You know, you can be here. Now you got to ask yourself if you're going to be soft. If you're not in the hospital, you don't break a leg, you should be here. And if you're not, you're playing soft. Because people ought to know what you do. What you do? I'm going to church. And that's going to be ministry to them right there. Some little girl call you and say, hey, what you doing? I'm going to church. No? And then that's what you start talking about. See, you don't want no, let me tell you this, you don't want no weak-minded people around you. Because who you hook up with is going to affect you for the rest of your life. Have you ever played with somebody weak?
Yes, sir.
They be like, think about that at night. You try to move forward. You ain't doing nothing. You sorry. You hooked up with that. You know? But when you hook up with somebody who's in the right mindset, who's seeking God, their heart's after God, you don't have to worry about all this stuff.
That's good.
Now the enemy wants you to hook up with somebody before time. So, Jack, in your mind, you ain't worried about her mind, you worried about how fine she is. Am I right? You're not going to see that girl and say, Pastor Ron, I met a girl, she's so smart. She's in all honors classes. And her mind is so out there. And you wonder why. The enemy wants to attack you now. And he's saying, well, that guy showed us fine. You got to figure out if you're going to be soft now. Where your mind going? Like I said, people hear stuff like this all the time. But there's a separation. Separation is preparation for, I always say that. Everything you do, separation. And you can separate yourself from the folks who just going to be soft and go to the next level. I go another wide road, narrow road. It's all through Scripture. So if you're trying to do what everybody else is doing, you want to check yourself. And say, where am I going to go? Now, let me make it out. This is what I want guys. Take this seriously. If next Sunday, this church, if this group of men right here would just come.
It's good, Pastor.
Right here.
It's good.
And we did what we were supposed to do. Guess what happened to this church? It'll blow up. Just huge. I mean, when the men just start saying, I'm going to be consistent, I'm going to serve God, and I'm not going to be soft. What I mean by soft? They said this about me. They didn't hurt me the right way. All right. You know? Think about it. Now, but the question is, do we want to lead that way? Do we want to lead that way? If a core group of men start saying, we're going to do what we need to do, the whole church will change.
Yes.
Families will change. Communities will change. Because fathers, men will be standing in their place and doing what they're supposed to do. And we'll be supporting each other. That seems simple, don't it? Does it seem simple? Seems simple. Seems simple. But it's hard. Because a lot of stuff can pop up on a Sunday morning. Make you want to stay at home. And a lot of it's just you.
That's the journey begins with a single step.
There it is. The ministry to yourself. Minister to yourself. When the enemy come in and say, hey man, I'm going to church. I'm going to church. I'm going to church. Just like DJ, I keep picking on you because I really want great things out of you and Janelle and Zach. Because I know y'all at that point when you're making decisions. Start saying that. When you start saying track, when you start saying football, you changing your mindset. Change your mindset spiritually. Tommy don't have to wake you up and say, hey, come to church. You beat him to church. Because if you want to get somewhere, can't you get there? You ain't got to say, well, Pastor, I can have a ride. When you want to get somewhere, you find a ride. Don't you? Right, DJ?
Yes, sir.
You find a ride. How bad you want it? How bad you want your life to be what God wants He's calling you? How bad you want it? You're going to be soft.